Hey Glamfam, Linwood here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to two-strand twist on a head of mannequin hair like this here. To be respectful of your time, we're going to go ahead and just dive right in. So let's get started. Typically you'll want to start on freshly shampooed hair that has been detangled and prepped with some form of leave-in conditioner. Don't worry, I'll have all my recommended products, my favorites, things like that, linked in the description box below this video, as well as in the top pinned comment. We're going to start off by just misting this hair here because it's clean, but it's not wet. So let's go ahead and do that. So now that I've misted down just the back section of this hair, I'm going to go ahead and section it off really loosely with some butterfly clips and just of course a rat tail comb. Whenever I'm working with two-strand twists or even flat twists, I love to utilize some duckbill clips like these here, along with a band around the wrist here. These are easily sanitizable, and it also makes it to where I have somewhere to secure my clips, so that way I'm not having to worry about setting things down and picking them back up on my work surface. Typically, after you've misted the hair with a bit of water, you go ahead and reapply a bit. Typically after you've misted the hair with a bit of product or after you've shampooed the hair, you'll want to go ahead and prep the hair with some product. Now the product that you use is going to be dependent on the hold that you need or the fabric of hair that you're working with. So usually hair that is finer or has less density, you're going to need something that's a bit lighter, like a foaming wrap or a mousse. So I have a foaming wrap that you could utilize here. If you needed a bit more hold in that, you could even do a setting lotion like this one here. You can even mix the two if you want a bit more of the control that you get here with the hold that you get here. If you need a bit of a firmer hold or just a bit more control in general, you can go ahead and utilize a curling cream or a twisting cream like this baby here. Or you can just go ahead and use a gel like this one here. I'll have other recommendations linked in the description box down below for different budgets and different needs. For the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and utilize a cream just because it's something that's a bit lighter. We shouldn't need too much of it because I'm just going to show you guys on this back section of the head. Now typically whenever working with products, I always like to emulsify a bit because I don't want to overload the hair with product. I think a lot of times looking at some of these tutorials online, you see people where they focus so much on the product and so little on the technique that you end up with an impact that might look good in the moment but ends up looking really flaky and things later, and we don't necessarily want to have that level of impact there. So I'm looking for some level of control over the hair, and I want to increase the moisture or encourage the moisture balance to stay in the hair, but we also want to ensure that we are not loading this hair up with product and relying on the product to do the job that these fingers should do. Now I'm going to go ahead and section this hair off into a smaller subsection, and then we will begin. Alright, now keep in mind this hair has already been thoroughly detangled, so we don't have to worry a bit. We want to make sure those fingers can easily flow through the hair. I'm going to go ahead and take 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch sections while I'm working, just for the sake of having some consistency throughout the hair. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn here so you can see a bit better. Now when we're working with this hair, we're going to go ahead and take it and split into two, like so. So as we're taking this hair and we're splitting it into two, I'm going to go ahead and begin to pass this hair over. Now here's a mistake I see a lot of people make. A lot of people just want to begin twisting. And if you're not twisting as much, you'll end up like, it'll still stay twisted depending on the curl pattern that's present in the hair, but it's going to be a lot looser and it's not going to give you the same level of hold that you're looking for. So while that might look nice, it's not going to last you any amount of time. And this is where you have to learn technique versus just using product, because there is a bit of technique that you can apply to help those twists hold together a bit more and to last your client or yourself for a few more days, possibly another week, to be able to hold a bit more. So showing you the first one, and that's just kind of something where it's like, sure, you could do that, but it's not going to give you the same level of control. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to lightly turn my hand outward and then pass over instead of just passing over. So here's how that looks. Turning that right hand outward towards the face, and I'm going to pass it up and over to the left, reaching under and grabbing that left strand, turning towards the face and passing up and over, again towards the face, up and over, and we're going to continue that pattern. So when you get a bit quicker with it, it begins to look a bit more, it's a lot quicker, but it begins to look a bit more controlled. It's quite a bit smoother looking. It holds a bit longer because as this hair is looking to untwist, you not only have the curl pattern holding those twists together for you, but now you also have the fact that you twisted outward. That is going to work in your favor when twisting this hair. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that down to the ends. When I get down here, I'm going to just twist the hair around the finger in the direction that the twist is going to kind of finish off with the curl. Now I want you to see the difference in between those two twists. So you can see a difference in the smoothness in the shine. So as this ages, it's going to fill out a bit and it will end up looking more like this, but it won't start there. If we start here where it's looser and sure it's more full, it's going to still look nice day one, but you see how we're already loose up here? That's going to end up frizzy by tomorrow. We want to make sure that we have some good security here so that way we can go ahead and have that fall through. Now I'm going to finish this row and I want to show you 2 more power tips just to help you do this a bit better. So I'll come back after I finish this row. By the way, if you are looking for a mannequin like this that you can twist, I will have it linked in the description box below as well. This is my own mannequin that I have manufactured and I handle all of the orders myself. So yeah, if you like it, description box is where you can find all the details on it too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and section off another section. Now you want to make sure your sizes are fairly consistent, so same way I went 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch here, I'm going to jump up another 1/2 inch and make sure I keep that straight all the way across. That consistency really helps out with setting apart your work from someone who is not as well versed in what they're doing, and it really gives that professional look to it just by having some level of consistency in your partings. If the hair begins to dry some when you're working with curly and coily fabrics of hair, you want to make sure that you are ensuring that you're keeping the hair a bit damp as you work. Keep in mind that the more dry the hair is, the less slip we have, and the hair is going to be more prone to breakage, things like that. So we want to ensure that we're keeping that hair damp when we're working with it, and in some instances wet if need be, and that you've got a good degree of some product with some slip agent in it. So leave-in conditioner is going to be amazing, or utilizing something like a setting lotion is where that really comes into play. Okay, so we have our second row parted out, and what we want to keep in mind is as we're doing our second row here, we want to think about how it is we're doing our partings up here on this next level. Now what this is going to do, especially for people with more fine hair, hair that is not quite as dense or doesn't have as many trees in their forest, we want to think about our placement because it's going to help out with adding fullness to the hair. So to give some examples, we're going to be bricklaying on this next row up. So basically, instead of me going ahead and just doing another row of twists directly on top, I'm going to go ahead and start doing twists more in between, and that way they can fall in the gap of the previous row. And what that's going to do is it's going to help fill out, and it makes it to where we don't see so much spaciness at the scalp. So basically, instead of looking more like this here, it begins to look more like that there. Same amount of hair, but the placement helps out with adding the look of fullness. So if you have issues with density and you're feeling like, I don't like how my scalp shows all these different divots and empty spaces, don't lay your twists directly on top of each other. You wanna just slightly lay them to where they're brick laid, and that way it adds more fullness to the look of your style. So on this row here, I'm gonna use a little bit of a foaming wrap, and that way you can kind of see the difference in there. It doesn't give a ton of visual difference here, but it does allow, especially for hair that is not as dense or that is more of a finer fabric, it allows for you not to have it so clumped together, and it does give a bit more spread to the final look. So I'm gonna go ahead and part off here. For more precise partings, of course, you can go ahead and use a comb. In my instance, I have fingernails, so I don't have to worry so much with that. But then I'm just going to go ahead and begin to part this off. Please ensure that if you have not thoroughly detangled your hair or your section beforehand, that you are at least detangling those strands that you're working with, because if they are rough and bumpy, your twists are going to be rough and bumpy also. And ultimately what happens there is you're going to end up with an issue where that hair is not holding up as well, or if that client decides to wear a twist out later, their twist out is not looking as smooth, it doesn't look as flattering or as professional, and we want to make sure that they're getting that same level of consistency and care when they take it down later as they got when it was put up in the first place. So the thing I love about twists, as you can see, is you can do them pretty quickly once you get into the hang of those motions. Now if you'll notice, that hand naturally just kind of twists out. You don't have to get extreme and do one of these numbers and then twist over. I see a lot of people overdoing it there. A little twist will do. And you can see literally in slow-mo, this is what's happening. As I speed it up, it looks like this here. And you just work on that speed. The more you work with those hands, the quicker the whole service gets for you. And honestly, it gets to where you can knock out this type of twist in no time at all. The other nice thing to me about this is I can take these same twists and my client can wear them down. They can style them into updos. They can be twisted a number of different ways. It still gives them the option of wearing a ponytail to get this hair up off of their neck without it being something where they have to wear it in one strict style. So it gives them the option of having it down without having it loose and down. So we limit tangling and things like that. It's also low tension at the scalp, so we don't have to worry about things like hair loss. And then we're keeping the ends molded together a bit so we don't have to worry so much about split ends and length retention issues. So on the bottom row, we use more of a styling cream. On the top row, we use more of a foaming wrap. There was a little bit of styling cream in there already, but you can kind of see how the placement of those twists, even though we look spacey here, we begin to fill here. So as we do the whole head, it fills out the look of the back of the head in general. Okay, so I don't want to prolong and waste your time any further today, so I hope that this video has been beneficial for you. If you have additional questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer those. And please look out for further tutorials on fabrics of hair like this, so that way you can learn how to take care of that hair in a professional manner and see how you can build your repertoire in the salon as well. If this has been helpful, please feel free to click the like button, and if you'd like to see more tutorials like this, please feel free to click subscribe. Take care, God bless, and stay glam. You know I love you. Bye.